Right lads, how you doing? Rob here from Kickback Garage. This is another bonus video, one of those small ones that I've got in between the TV175 rebuild videos that I've got going. And in this one, I am going to attempt to convert the original TV175 disc brake into reverse pull. Ooh. So if you wonder the why, the if, the but, and the when, and now, and the who, grab yourself a coffee and I'll send the scooter over. So you might be asking yourself, what is reverse pull? Well, I'm going to show you what reverse pull is, but first I want to tell you why I want to convert this to reverse pull. Now, the Inocente original disc brake is on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is dismal and 10 is poor. I want to try and get this brake to work its absolute best. And the way to do this is doing the reverse cable pull method. Now, this was started off by the connoisseurs in the UK back in Lambretta times, and they found out that if you cut the cable by at least a foot, thread it through the opposite end, and do some trickery magic with the actual activation mechanism, then you get a lot better feel, modulation on the disc itself, and it should push it up there into the realms of just being poor. So, and the other things that I've done with this is I've taken off the anti-rattle clip, which sits on the disc itself. And what that does is it enables the disc to be full floating so that you get full contact with both the pads. That should mean better braking. Also, we have changed the pads themselves to a new modern pad that are sintered, and that should give a little bit better bite as well. So I'm hoping this conversion here will make this brake slightly usable. So we'll have a look at that in a second. Yeah, and before you start running out into garage and trying to convert your drum brake into reverse pull, don't do that. It's not really a very good idea. I mean, it does work, and I know I've seen lots of people that do it and they're very happy with it on their normal drum brake. But the problem with that is when the pads start wearing, you can actually you can actually lock the pads onto the disc and lock the front wheel, which is not very good in any situation. So that's my disclaimer there, and we'll take a look at it and see what I can do. The lovely thing about this conversion here on the disc is you only need to use your original parts, and the only extra bit of thing you need is 6mm nylock nut. Unfortunately, we haven't got the original adjuster, so we bought a whole kit from Jockey's Box and Stop, those guys in Germany. And the kit comprises of the original type adjuster, as you see here, and it also has this trunnion that's been threaded, which is okay. You've got a spring, you've got the nut, you've got 2 washers here, and you've also got this, which is quite handy. I see the boys down at Rimini Lambretta also make this kit. Now this is basically because when we're going to route our aim of the game is to route the cable here, and as you may or may not be able to see, saved us about at least a foot and a bit of cable, half a metre I reckon, of cable. And what that does is you've got much less of a bend on the cable itself, and that's why you get a better feel to the brake lever. Right, as you see, originally it would have gone there, and then it hooks in there, and then you've got this nasty bend all the way around here, and it slots into here and sits there. The first thing that you have to do before attempting to fit this is actually you have to drill out the cable stop here. Now, I was looking at the Lambretta Club Great Britain site, and they say that you need to drill it with a 6mm drill. So what I did I took off this actuation mechanism. Let's see if I can put it back in again. Basically so that I could get my drill straight here. Otherwise it comes in conflict with my drill, the actuation mechanism there. I'm just going to fit that again because I don't need to have that out anymore. And we have the circlip. Please behave. It came out so easily. There we go. She's in. Not quite. She's not quite in there. I'll just give it a bit of a tap, I reckon. There you go. Now she's in. Good and proper. And then we've got the fancy eye cap. I also believe that Andy Francis, what am I saying? Arthur Francis did this conversion as well to the old customized scooters that he made. So that's pretty cool. Why isn't my eye cap going in properly? Get in there. Thank you. There you go. That's nice. Does look like a J though, doesn't it? Yeah, so Arthur Francis, sorry again, used to do this, and apparently the connoisseur, so however you pronounce that, did that as well in the UK at the end of the 60s to get a bit of a better break going there out of the disc. So I reckon even though you have to drill that with a 6mm, I reckon you won't void your warranty. Right, what's next? Well, what I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut this cable. The unfortunate bit is this BGM cable, they've done a really good job at crimping this top hat, so I'm going to have to fathom out some way to remove this. I think maybe I'll cut it off and yeah, I'll have to have a think about that, how I do that, and I'll tell you how I do it. And it's this bit here that fits into this trunnion here, fits into the actuation arm, and then what you do basically is thread the cable through there so that sits that way, like so. And I have to keep moving this cable out the way of the camera, and then you've got your cable tensioner and the spring. So you fit the spring in a washer, thread it through here, like so, and then I'm going to have to compress it, like so. Then you've got the washer, and then you've got the nut. So let me have a play with the cable, see what I can do there, because now I know the length. I think I'm just going to route it round the front there, give it a nice bend so that it's not too kinked. That looks good. And I'm going to have to cut it here. So I'll make a mark there, and I'll show you how I sorted that out when I've done it. Right, you all my lovelies. Well, that was different. What I did was, in the end, was cut off the crimpy bit on the top hat that is fastened to the BGM cable, only to find that what I thought was that the crimpy bit was on the upside here, and the wire sort of continued down this trunnion, but this is solid bit of metal. So when I cut off the trunnion, yeah, then I can't get the cable in. But I was thinking of drilling it up, but the trunnion actually doesn't fit in this part, the adjuster part. So what I have to do there is I have to cut off a small section of wire there, because this cable is pretty thick. It is the super duper thicker type, and I'll thread it in here like this. And I've just taken the front edge off there just so I can enter it, and I'll just screw it in there, and it sits really, really tight. So that's not going to go anywhere. And as you see, this bracket here, this is obviously to keep, because when we fasten this here, there you go, this is obviously so that you don't get the front brake cable in the tyre while you're moving. There's loads of other sort of tricks and fixes you can do, putting stiffer wire on the outside or something like that, but yeah, I think this is pretty handy. the little loop there just keeps it off there. So that looks neat too. And then I imagine, I'm not 100% sure, I imagine that it's not even got a hole in the end there. That this rubber gaiter here, oh, it's quite tight. So like, imagine this rubber gaiter is supposed to go here, in between, and then I think if I turn that the right way around, isn't that supposed to go that way? Oh, fiddly. Let me hook it out of there. So much fun. So much fun. Oh, it's so stiff, that wire. I mean, that should help immensely with brake power. So, get on there, you bugger. Damn, that's stiff. Wow, that was really, really hard. I think I'm going to use a pair of pliers or something to bend that round. I don't like that. I'm going to take off that gaiter. It's a bit stiff. Put it this way, if this doesn't work, I'll be mighty cross. Right, so that was, the wire is so thick that it was really, really hard to get properly in that clamp there. But that also should mean that it's should be pretty stiff. The brake is loose now. I've got loads of adjustment left here. The brake is loose now. Let's see. Yeah, that's certainly stopping it. And I've got loads of feel on the handle. I can actually squeeze it quite far there. So, be interesting to see how that works out. Right, now, last part of the puzzle is obviously this wire here is 3 million years too long. So I'm just going to cut it off here. Now, this is the moment of truth. It's probably going to spray like mad now. Just because. But this is quite a good snip I've got. So let's see how it goes. Oh, shit. I knew it. It's just so hard. Wow. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. That's all right, actually. Just put it there out the way. And what I'm going to do now, I've got this special solder here. It's not the electrical variant. It's what is it? It's something or other with some tin in there, which is specially for cables. I think I bought that off eBay for not a lot of money. I have in the past actually used electrical cable solder, and that's worked pretty good. So what I do is I just want to heat this up just for the soldering iron, and because it's such a fat wire, it's probably going to take forever. Let me put some flux on there. Right, what we want to do, we want the tin to dissolve and pull itself in the twines of the wire. There you go. Just put that, there you go. That's enough. And don't inhale that. Lovely jubbly. So that'll prevent the cable from fraying. Ouch! And what do we say to that? Yeah, we say job's a good one. Right lads, that's the front brake cable sorted. I'm waiting for the speedo cable. Yep, so that should come. I think I got a message from Scootopia that that is on the way, so that'll probably come mid next week maybe. So hopefully I'll be able to make another video with that. And cable ties, trinions, and then it's the wiring. I keep promising you the wiring, but it's going to take a little while until we get there. I really want to sort out these cables first. So chaps, I'll love you and leave you. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the support. Give me all thumbs up, do the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra! A little while before those parts turn up, I ordered... It's my wife. What is she doing out there? Shh. Hi. Hey. Right fellas, that's the front brake cable sorted, and I'm waiting for the...
I'm sorry.
Me.